All right, everybody, this is going to be a very quick and simple video for all the forward fold camper owners out there. What are we going to do, Jess? From the tough tracks to the remote tracks, from our campsites to the workshops. Come along and check out great off-road adventures. Your next episode is just seconds away. Nice.
Hey guys, it's Jess and Graham from Great Off-Road Adventures. After hearing a lot of comments, we're just taking a quick video to show you guys how to set up a forward fold camper with the tips and tricks we've learned along the way. Yep,
so we've used Cape campers and we've now used obviously our own Bigfoot, and the principle is the same across all forward fold campers, so it doesn't necessarily matter what you own, but yeah, we're going to be able to help you out with this. So yeah, let's get into the steps and procedures of setting up your forward fold camper.
Let's go.
All right, so the first step you got to do, you don't always have to do it, but is obviously unhitch your camper from your car, especially if you're going to use yourself and your setup as a base camp. And then you want to level it out. So we've used our leveling ramps, especially on the driver's side, to correct a little bit of left to right lean. And then obviously once that's all done, we've unhitched the car and we then put out our 4 stabilizer legs. Well, now the trailer is unhitched and leveled, it's time to actually go through setting it up. So in our particular case, we've got the quick horning. So what we have to do is just undo the 2 latches and push that up. Then that allows us to open the boat rack. So boat rack over. Ready, Jess?
Yep.
We elect to put the boat rack vertically because our ensuite is sitting on the boat rack here, and also reduces our left to right footprint. If this was all the way over, obviously we need more space. So boat rack vertically, try that again. Boat rack vertically is the way to go. All right, so when it comes to unlatching, I always do the front one first, then the middle one, but I leave it hooked up, and then I do the end one. Pulling down on it allows me to get it off, also allows me to get the middle one off, and that way you don't hurt yourself, catch your fingers or anything. Do that on both sides and then we're ready to fold it forwards. Just keep videoing. Not every trailer is light enough that you can just push it over by hand. We've substituted our spring mattress for a foam mattress for comfort, but it's also a lot lighter. So if that's the case, if you can't push it over by hand, then you do need to use your front winch to lift it over. In my case, I can just pull it over and I just use the front winch to hold it down in place. Then go around the outside and pull your skirt down over the edges. All right, when you get to the back, you've got to lift your last hoop. This can be done either from the inside or the outside. Being slightly taller, I find it a bit easier just to do it from the outside whilst I'm walking around doing the skirt. I just grab a handful of canvas, lift it up so that it's upright. And now at this point, go around, continuing to get the skirt out. That's now pretty much the outside of the trailer prepared, ready to go. Now we can show you what to do around the door and the inside so that you get a nice tight canvas, but without your door being off center. So before you go inside and start tensioning up any poles and tensioning up your canvas, it's very important to secure the vertical part of your canvas in place beforehand. So I always run all the poppers down each side of the door here, like that. It's a little bit harder with the warning poles, but right now we can step inside. Come on in. Yeah. First things first, what I like to do is the main upright hoop. I like to lift that up into place. I don't like to yank it up, reef it up really high and tight, because that does start to distort the canvas. Then I lift the back hoop up. Now that the middle hoop and the back hoop are extended, the next thing to extend is the hoop that lies above your bed. Push and latch. Now what you want are your two short poles that go in the front two corners, and that keeps the hoop that sits above your head upright and keeps the front of the canvas tensioned. From here now, I like to do it this way, because then I can reach the latch from without climbing on the bed. One there. So the next thing to do is to put in the 4 remaining poles. The 2 longest ones go above the bed and the 2 slightly shorter ones go above the couch. Now it's important to work from front to back here, as it keeps this main middle upright hoop centered and stops the canvas around your door from deforming. With these, the way I like to do it is have the back end of the pole attached to this side, top end attached up there, and that way you can get a good push and spread.
For those of us at home as short as me, do it the opposite way. Always put the solid end at the furthest point, so in that case it would have been the top for me because I can't reach that high, and put the end that moves at the lower section because it's in arm's reach, because yeah, I definitely can't do it that way.
So yeah, so that's looking pretty good. So as I was explaining on the inside, provided you do the poles in the right combination and you don't push one up tighter than any of the others, that sort of thing, it does leave your door nice and straight and upright, and it doesn't put too much tension on your zips. So yeah, door's nice and straight and upright. We're a little bit loose in the back here, so I could tighten up that back hoop. But yeah, it's more than good enough. I'd be happy with that. And yeah, we'll show you packing up tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, we can't necessarily show you the awning. That's not something that we don't use on our Bigfoot camper or on a lot of forward folds, because it is very tedious and time consuming, and that is why we love our Darch. So yeah, anyway, there you go. That's my tips and tricks to get your nice tight canvas set up on a forward fold camper, keeping a straight door and without leaving dirt on your bed or on your couches. Cheers. All right, everyone, as we said yesterday, after setting up the camper, we would pick you up again when it came to packing up the camper. So Jess is going to run you through what you have to do when it comes to packing up your forward fold camper.
No worries, let's get started. So guys, first trick when packing up your camper is to be very aware of your fixed poles, such as the hoop poles. And so cushion placement and anything you put on your couches is critical, because if you put cushions along the edging, they're going to foul with the poles and it's just going to make it that much harder to pack up. So I start always by making sure my cushions are always in a good location so they are not going to foul with any of the poles. So I've got lots of room there, lots of room there. Likewise with the bed, I've pulled all the quilts in so that these hoop poles aren't being fouled by the cushion covers. So I always start with the bed poles, just personal preference, no real neat trick there. Right, we go through. Unlike Graham, I have to hop on the bed regardless of what happens. So that's all my removable poles, keeping them in the same location. So, running them along the side here without fouling with the fixed pole. Next thing is to lower my hoop. So you just unlatch them and just make sure they go all the way in. That way you don't have any issues later on. So, pillows, again, we don't want anything to foul. So if I chuck them right there, they are completely avoiding the loop. Next step is this side. So again, I start with the removable poles. Okay, they're all out of the way. When it comes to dropping this back loop, always be careful. So yeah, so we have had it before where when closing the loop too quickly, the pole here snagged on this bit of here, just in the corner here, and we actually broke off this whole end of the zip. So when lowering and folding, you just want to be careful of that. So I try to lower both sides together. So, again, lower it till it won't lower anymore. Lock them back into place. And then move all of this out the way as you fold down. Next step is the final poles, which are our center poles. Always leave them till last because they just add the most height to here to help you set up our pack up. So again, we just lower these all the way down till they won't go down anymore. And you're good inside. Everything's done and we can go outside now and get the canvas ready for folding over. Okay, so first step of my canvas prep is removing any studs that we have clipped in. So for us, it's generally just the door for quick trips. So you want to make sure all of those are in. Put the door back on helps as well. Don't do what we've done in the past and forget and then go to fold over and go bugger.
Whilst Jess puts the door on, if the camper's folded over and you haven't closed your stairs or shut your door, you have to open the camper over. These gas struts close over this way and block it. And so yeah, as such, it's really important before you fold the top of the camper back over, you have your door or your stairs shut.
So
the next thing to do is just to walk around and fold all your skirts back in. Also make sure that anything like the drawer there that's hanging out is pushed back in so that you've got unimpeded access to fold the roof back over next.
there we go. So all four corners are now turned up and facing inwards, so we can get started with loosening the winch and flipping it over. I'll get Graham to help with this one.
So now the winch is undone. What I can do is actually just push it over by hand. what we try to do is take it up to the 90-degree mark, and that allows us then just to pause there, pack the last few bits of canvas in, make it neat and tidy. Yeah, I'll just try to stop there. You can see these bits of skirt coming out, so just sort of get neat and tidy them up, make sure the pole's in. At this point, I'll just let it continue down, and it stops itself there. So yeah, as you can see here, you've just got little things like the draw cords for the zips hanging down. Make sure that all your poles are nice and neatly in here. This bit of canvas I just like to push towards the middle. Just means that it's not bunched up on the outside here where the poles are trying to come down. But beyond that, it all looks pretty good. I can pull it down a bit more. You can see as you pull it down, the air billows the canvas out. So as you winch it down, you just need to periodically walk around and push the canvas back in. So at this point here, there's no way I'm going to be able to pull the roof of that camper down with the air that's stuck inside it. At least to the point I can get the latches on, so just need to get the winch out. With the Bigfoot, and with a lot of other forward fold campers, the best way to do this is to actually put this strap underneath your boat rack mount, if you have one there, and then bring it up to the camper. And I'll explain that in a second. What that allows is, as you can see, this winch strap is coming straight down, so it allows you to get the best pulling force down on the roof of the camper. As you can imagine, if the winch was here, you're trying to pull the camper roof down, you're pulling it more flat, less vertically. So have a think about how that works. So I'll get to about this point here, and I'll just go and push that canvas, and especially the stuff that's sticking out at the front. The more we pull it down, the harder it's going to be to get that in. And it's imperative that you get all of this in, so you get a good seal, keep the dust out. I then repeat that process by winching the top of the camper down a little bit more, pushing in any canvas that's sticking out, and then obviously winching it down a little bit more again until it's pretty much shut or as far down as it can go. And at that point, it's time to put the latches on. So at this point here, we can get a couple latches on. The rule of thumb is to not try and pull down with this first latch. There's too much force there, but you can get it on and get a little bit of assistance so that you can get the second latch on. Once the second latch is on, I just try to use that to get the third one on, and do the second and third ones at the same time. Then go back to the first one. So because the winch is only attached to the other side, it does sort of skew with the roof of the camper. So passenger side is a little bit more tricky, but what you can do is pull down at the back to get the first one on, and then again, like I said, use the first one to get the second one on, then use the second one to get the third one on. The other way you can do this passenger side is actually climb up on top, stand here in this back corner, use your weight to lever it down to get the latch on, and then whilst you're standing up there, you can get this third latch on and push it down, then you can hop off, do the other two. So yeah, and of course the last thing, fold over the boat rack, shut up your compartments, do your last few bits and pieces of packing up, and job done.
So what's other things that we've forgotten when packing up?
We have on occasion forgotten bits and pieces like putting the bungs back on the gas bayonets. What I try and do is the second that I unplug one of the gas lines, I always go and plug gas bayonet back on it,
Yep.
but it's not always remembered at the time.
Yep.
So what we like to do is, after packing up the camper, do a full walk around, make sure all the latches are shut, open the electronics latch on this side, turn off all the switches, the water pump, that sort of thing. And yeah,
We call it the idiot's check, and we go through step by step and go, right, what have we forgotten to do? Because yeah, you learn through error and through going, oh crap.
and what we do is I do it and Jess does it as a sort of double check. So, or Jess does it and then I do it.
Yep.
That way we hop in the car, we both go, we've done the idiot checks. Yes, we have. Happy days. We've had 2 sets of eyes go over all our common sort of failure points. So yeah, there you go. Hope you guys have found that a little bit useful in terms of setting up your basic forward fold camper, especially the inside. Have seen quite a few questions about like how to get the door straight and how to not, you know, get too much tension on the canvas and that sort of thing. So yeah, hope you found it useful, and of course hope you found it useful how we pack up the camper and what we've learnt to help us along. So yeah, happy days. Anyway, you know the deal. Go and check out the rest of the videos on the channel, all our trip videos and bits and pieces as well. If we don't see you out there on the tracks and trails one day, we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.
Cheers.